In this video, we'll learn how to scale our axes and annotate points, which is always a useful thing to do. Let's start a new cell. I'll call this annotating points and axis scaling. So I'm going to type a little bit of a note here because the command axis can do a lot of things. So help axis might be useful. We will use it to fix the scaling of the X and Y axes. That's mainly what we want to do with it. And the way to do that is using the command axis and then V. So I'm just using V as a variable name, could be anything, but the idea is it has 4 elements. V is a 4-element array with minimum the lowest X you want, the highest X you want, the lowest Y you want, and the highest Y you want. Y in that order. Okay, so we'll show you how to use that. Let's go ahead and let's type it in. Axis, and here if I already had a 4-element array with the right numbers, cool, I would use that. But I can also just type it in. Note that it has to be an array. We can't just put in numbers here with commas. We have to use square brackets to say this is a 4-element array we're putting in here. So maybe I want my x's to go from -2 to 20 and my y's to go from -10 to 100. Close square brackets and close parentheses. Another thing we can do is add a legend. Add a legend to your figure. I'm going to go steal plot XY from up above, and I'll paste it here. And let's run that, and then we'll come back to the legend. So I've scaled it now. It goes from -2 to 20, and it goes from -10 to 100. I forced that by using this axis command. Let's close that. The command for adding a legend is just legend, and maybe I'll have like lab1, comma, the title for the first graph, comma, and then the title for the second graph, comma, like that. So let's steal one, X, Y, 2, sure, and we'll do that one in dash with R. Oops. Okay, if I run this, I hope this works. Oh, what's my error message? Oh, vectors must be the same length. Right, Y2 wasn't the one that was built on Y. It was called like new Y or something, right? Let's try that. And there it is. So this one goes off the chart because I restricted my axis using axis, but you can see where they diverge. Now you'll notice that we didn't get any marks, and that's because I specified a line style and not a mark style. If you want a mark style, you've got to tell it, let's use circles. And now there's my mark style. So that's what happens if you specify one without the other. The other just gets left off. But now you see the legend, which is the point here. So my legend shows lab 1 and lab 2. And again, in those titles, you can use parentheses, you can use apostrophes by using that double single quote. That's 2 single quotes in a row. All right, so we can change the axes, we can do legends, we can also add text to a point or other places, but for now, let's say text, and the command to add text is just text, and then you can specify the location using X and Y coordinates. So 12, 13, for example, and then maybe I'll say label this point. Oops, there we go. Now when I run it, somewhere around X equals 12 and Y equals 13, I have a label that says label this point. You can also use variables here. Like we could say in X, find me the 5th element, and in Y, find me the 5th element, and say this is the 5th element, without needing to know what it is. You could just say, hey, whatever the 5th element of X is, go get it, and whatever the 5th element of Y is, go get it. So now it's moved it over a little bit to the 5th element. All right, so we can add text by specifying either the actual coordinates or a variable containing the coordinates. And one more thing we can do is add text where the user clicks. I love this one. The command to do that is gtext. It stands for graphical text. So gtext and then say, here's where you clicked. All right. So wherever the user clicks is going to get that text, and it's kind of the upper left corner. Let's run it and I'll show you. Run section. And look, I haven't clicked anything yet. I just moused over and this is what I get. I get this crosshair that says that MATLAB is waiting for me to click. So maybe I'll click way up high and it says here's where you clicked. If I run it again and click way down here, I get it over there. So this is a nice way of being able to let the user label something by clicking where they want the text to go. We'll talk more about user interfaces in another chapter. All right, that is all for now. We will come back to plotting in another video.